Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Mick, and in today's video we're going to talk about how to take care of a straight razor. I'm talking maintenance, and we're going to cover all the way from I just finished shaving with it to long-term maintenance to make sure that this is something that will last you a really long time. Now, the first thing that I do when I'm finished shaving is I wash off any excess soap or hair or anything like that off the straight razor, and when you're doing that, you want to make sure that you actually don't get any water into the scales. That's kind of this piece over here. So you want to make sure that you don't get any water kind of in between here, because when you close your straight razor, that's all that moisture is going to stay in there, and then you're going to end up with a really rusty blade. So you want to make sure that you don't get any water in there, and you do that by making sure that before you close the blade, there's no moisture on the blade. Then once I've washed everything off, I end up cleaning the face of the razor with a microfiber cloth. And so you want to be careful that you're not actually touching the edge of the blade. So I just basically come up to it like this, and I just very carefully just wash off any water that is on the face of the razor without touching the edge. So then at this point, what I like to do is after every shave, I strop my razor. So if you've never had a straight razor before and you don't know what a strop is, this is what a strop is. It's made out of leather. I'll have a separate video on how to strop your blade. This one's purely just about kind of the steps to make sure that you maintain it properly. I have mine on a carabiner here so that I can like click it onto like a towel rack or just a closet or something like that, and then it's a lot easier to strop with that in place. Now once I'm done stropping, what I do is actually put some Japanese blade oil on the blade, and you need very little of this stuff. I've had this, the label's fallen off, and you can see how very little I've used in basically like 2 years since having this blade oil. You literally only need a drop, and I'm going to show you guys how to oil the blade now. So what I do is I put on just one drop. I love how it's going all over the place. And then basically what I do is I rub it back and forth like this along the face. Sorry, so you guys can see I rub it back and forth along the face. And then you just kind of push the oil towards the edge. And this actually leaves a lot of excess oil. So what you do then is you take your finger and you just move it along the face, and then that'll be enough oil to oil up this side as well. And then basically same thing, you just, maybe I'll just move it this way so it's easier. You just push the blade oil towards the blade like this, careful not to cut yourself. And then any excess you can just kind of put on the heel and the toe and the top over here, and then you're pretty much ready to just store it. So I just have mine on a stand like this with my brush, and this goes into my bedroom. You want to make sure that you don't store your blade or your straight razor in a place that's going to have a lot of moisture. So that's why I recommend kind of just like storing it in your room, away from the shower, away from the bathroom. Another important part for long-term maintenance outside of, stropping it after every use is making sure that you go in and you get the blade honed. Honing a blade is basically at some point stropping isn't enough to keep these blades sharp, and you have to basically rub it back and forth on a piece of specific rock to get it to properly sharpen. Now you can buy these yourself and do it yourself, but if you're going to do that, I recommend that you either watch a whole bunch of videos, because you can really destroy your blade if you don't do it right, or go to a shop where they sell straight razors and see if you pay them, they will teach you how to use a honing rock, and then you can do it yourself. You want to take it in to get honed typically once a year. So if you're the type of person that shaves every day, if you're shaving your entire face every day, once a year is probably going to be enough. How can you tell if it's time to take it in to get it honed, usually you'll notice that the blade just doesn't cut the way that it did. You'll get a little bit more nicks and things like that than usual. If you're really not too sure, you can just take it into a shop. They will for free look at it for you. They will typically for free look at it for you and let you know if you need to have the blade honed or not. Because I mostly just use my blade to clean up my neckline and my cheek lines, because of that, I can actually get away with not going in to get my blade honed for up to 2 years. I took my blade in after using it for a year, and they told me the blade looks fine and I don't need to get it honed. I can probably go another year without honing. I am now at that point where, so it's April right now, probably July, August, I'm going to have to take it in. That's going to be about the 2-year mark since I bought this, and I'm going to have to go in and get it honed. Now, if you properly take care of your straight razor with the maintenance tips that I just gave you, this is the type of blade that can really last you for generations and generations, guys. So if you follow these tips and tricks, you'll never have to buy a straight razor again. You can just buy this one straight razor for yourself and you'll be good for a really long time. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. Then what I do is
perfect.